Hello, fellow armchair Imagineers. It's your podcasting compatriot, Tiki, here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And Jacob Wile, too.
And together, we are the Big Podcast 3.
Ba-la-la-la.
La 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 la.
Literally, but blah, blah, blah.
Okay, to quote a very, very, very out of context joke from Brian Posehn. Don't worry, I brought my running shoes. I'll let you guys figure out what that means. I'll tell you and I'll tell Jacob and Dragon off air. But
Did you ever figure out the pronunciation thing, or?
Yeah, it's Posehn.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't I call that one?
I think you did.
Hey.
Anyways, all right, so fan friction. I got to admit, guys, I'm a little bit mixed on this one. I'm not over the moon about it like I have been the past couple episodes. I think this is just all right. It's not bad. I just feel like it's not even necessarily a step back per se, and there is some cool stuff in it. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not digging it quite as much. I don't really love Carmi as a character, so that might have something to do with it. What are your guys' thoughts?
Overall, this one, I gotta tell you, this was kind of a serendipitous one. Just when I watched this, because I had just the week before this, I guess the week of, more accurately, because it airs on Saturdays, I guess. But the point is, the week of, I had been speaking to some people I know, and of course they were getting to the topic of fan fiction, so it was very appropriate. Just kind of like, oh, and what do you know? Topics coming up. So on the whole, I feel this one was it was fun. Maybe not for everyone, but again, that's kind of the nature of fan fiction itself, and kind of self-reverent comedy about fan fiction. That was a fun one, but I'd agree. I don't know if it's top tier material, but it didn't do anything wrong. It's just it's fun, but definitely an acquired taste, I felt. So.
Jacob?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. I wouldn't call it a top tier episode either, but it definitely had its fun and clever moments for sure.
Yeah, so I guess do you guys want to kind of go over the big highlights of the episode and then kind of work our way down from there, I think? Since it's sort of just a free-form conversation at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's start off kind of the thing that we've kind of been tracking a little lightly, kind of what we're borrowing from kind of our showrunners and kind of their playbook of animation and kind of like the superhero of it all. Briefly at the top here. So we kind of we're playing with the being famous and mythologized perception of our heroes. That's kind of what we're doing here, and that's sort of like Kim Possible. I believe in Kim Possible there was the Kim style. It was basically her wardrobe turned like this big fashion phenomenon after she saved someone on live television. So it's kind of like when a character
Kimitation Nation.
Yes, that's the one. So it's kind of like that, and and there are various other examples too. Just like Ron Stop will constantly, it's almost like a running gag. Ron Stop will, for an episode, will become popular. Then of course he'll learn a lesson. Then it'll just kind of all kind of naturally go away. But he's better for it though. So it's kind of one of those lessons where the point is like there's going to be something big talked up, or it'll be kind of high schooly gossipy or something, and that's kind of what we have here. Where again, one of our characters is kind of under the spotlight when that character does not want to be, and that's kind of what I'm pulling from here. But on the superhero side of things, fascinatingly, we have the perception of the superhero idea, where you have how do heroes feel when you become so, when they have all this notoriety, when you become famous, and you're starting to catch headlines and everything, people are starting to not only form opinions about you, like the J. Jonah Jamesons of the world, but more accurately, what do the fans think? When you develop a fan following. So that was a fascinating question to kind of look into here with the fan fiction of it all.
Sure.
Yeah, like what I pointed out, that means we at least have fans.
Okay, I think probably the best compliment I can give to this episode is the opening was fantastic, I think. It's an acquired taste, but I feel like they did such a good job of kind of capturing like the erratic nature of fan fiction and kind of like the fan art that goes along with it, as we can see in the rude image here, and I love how it kind of like I love how throughout the opening segment it kind of like mixes different styles of fan art, kind of sporadically, like I said.
And basically how they get pretty much everything out of character.
Predominantly,
and not to mention they self-insert characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dragon.
Predominantly, there's the chibi style, and this is like a known thing, especially in animes, where basically you have the Teen Titans was also kind of the good Teen Titans was also kind of famous for this, where basically you'd have your kind of your straightforward series, and then you'd have
I feel like, ironically enough, the bad Teen Titans is kind of like a chibi style of that chibi style.
That's the thing, the chibi style, the idea, at its purest form. I say purest form in a good way here, where the idea in the chibi style for Teen Titans was that you'd have this very straightforward, like, okay, we got some complex ideas here, we got some straightforward stuff, and we got some witty comedy, but at the same time, we kind of balance out kind of the immaturity of teenager, being Teen Titans with kind of this fun, like, okay, it's a chibi style, it's kind of like, hey, it's fun, but again, we're kind of tackling some serious ideas here. And you have like kind of these cutesy big head, small body things that are highly collectible.
I feel like in the case of Teen Titans, the original, the chibi style was done like for exaggeration effect, like when the characters' heads would grow gigantic and stuff like that.
Yeah, another term for it's like super D, like super deformation. It's kind of like that, but it's like it's like kind of a character, like an animatable version of that.
Thank you, Dragon. I am not well versed in anime terminology.
Versus just kind of like this, like yes.
I was just agreeing with you. It's pretty much a common trope in certain like especially comedic animes where like it's like sometimes use like cutaway and like basically to show more expression. Like when a character is usually drawn like realistically, sometimes they switch to like a more chibi looking style to like show like the exaggerated expressions, like the face distorting and the eyes going wide and the mouth and like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then you get like elements like the famous anime teardrop in the old kind of like shrug of that arm. It's like Goku constantly it's like that like Ash Ketchum, but let me forget Goku. Let's go Ash Ketchum. It's like kind of that old shucks pose where you have the anime character with one arm kind of run the back. And I think we even saw that.
I don't have a dad.
I think we even saw it there. We pointed that out.
I'm sure we did. Yeah.
The teardrop thing. Anyway, my point is, so again, also with the chibi thing, and this is kind of what we see here, more accurate. Like I remember stuff like Avatar: Last Airbender. They did like these shorts, these really cute shorts, where you'd have the chibis as kind of your main. Like basically, you animate just these chibi cutesy versions of the characters. It's all like all the characters in like a school setting, which is adorable, and that's kind of what we're doing here. So I feel it's a very niche kind of fan thing that we've kind of brought to the forefront as a way of illustrating the fan fiction of all. Because you gotta remember, it's kind of hard to. A lot of times, it's kind of hard to bring fan fiction to life. In animation, you rarely see it because usually.
Honestly, I feel like they could have done a whole episode in this style because they were really doing it. That's the thing. Like, how would you guys have felt if the whole episode was done like this? I honestly feel like the episode would have stood out a little bit more.
Yeah, go on.
It would have been interesting for sure.
It would have been interesting. Initially, I thought that's what they were going to do. Initially, my prediction of the episode was that it was going to be kind of like a vignette sort of style. Like we were going to have various kind of Carmy fan fiction segments, like we had like in 2 or maybe 3 places during this, and that was going to be the whole episode. And here was going to process it during the episode. I thought it was going to become a smaller one, but
I really kind of like to be like a Treehouse of Horror kind of style like that.
Oh, that would have been really fun. Yeah. Oh man, now I want an episode like that.
Like the various fan fictions, like told in different styles and kind of
different styles of animation. Oh man, Jacob, that would have been a damn good episode.
Now, while that would have been great, and again, it would have been absolutely a satisfying way to go. At the same time,
and also some way like how it ties, how like it would tie like all the 3 stories would like tie into a main plot or something.
Yes,
good idea, Jacob.
Yes, and again, while all of that would have been great, at the same time, you do lose kind of we lose the Obake side of things. And of course, like we lose our villain stuff, we lose kind of the commentary on fan fiction.
You know what? To the credit of the show, I feel like at the very least, the Obake stuff is pretty prevalent in every episode now, and it's really like, as I said last episode, it feels like Dr. Draken, but with an overarching and threatening arc to it. You know what I mean? How he's kind of just like in the background, but he's actively doing stuff every episode. And I'm kind of liking that dynamic with the show now.
He's consistently building allies.
And again, I'm still on the bandwagon. It's like a Rachel Moriarty thing with the Bucky. He's great, and again, he hasn't lost yet, and he's still even in this episode. He still hasn't lost.
Right.
And then
But yeah,
he's continually building allies too. Like, what if he's building like a version of the Sinister Six, kind of?
possibly, and of course, six. Big Hero Six, Sinister Six. It's a no-brainer.
He has Globby. Now he has Momokaze.
Noodle Burger Boy.
Yeah.
Oh God, Noodle Burger Boy.
He's constantly gaining people with abilities who have actually beaten the team.
Kind of Yama, so it might be a soft seventh, or it could be.
He's
like
got a network at the very least.
Exactly. So before we really do a deep dive into kind of the Obaki villain stuff, there's a real quick on fan fiction here. So on a whole, because it is a huge majority of the episode. The image that we use, I love that. Again, this shows like the diversity and that they kind of get what they're doing with the fan fiction. That we have the chibi style, but then we have images like you see before you here, which again, this is like. The thing with fan fiction is usually if you can't animate, people do like kind of like a cover page, like if you are comics that will express fan fiction, and you'll have like a still image like this, where it's kind of like the romanticized.
Honestly, if I didn't know better, I would kind of think this is like an actual fan fiction cover.
Exactly, and that's the thing they did so well in capturing it, like kind of the Gone with the Wind version of Hiro Hamada.
Especially because fan fiction is like really into shipping, and this is like the big ship in the show. So
we do have some fun commentary on shipping, by the way. And again, to speak from experience, something like Avatar, there's tons of shipping.
My big shipping show was Lost, actually. Believe it or not.
Making fun of shipping, that's the thing. Like, I'm the mindset where shipping within reason. That's kind of my thing on fan fiction. I was getting into this week and kind of conversing about it with people. Is that I feel fan fiction there's good fan fiction, there's bad fan fiction. I've read my share of a little bit of both. Usually good fan fiction, but again, not like super into. But
honestly, I'm more into fan films than I am fan fiction. I can't.
Well, I mean, sure. I mean, yeah, fan films if we can, but there's only so many. Tiki, I'm saying fan fiction. There's a never-ending supply of fan films. There's good ones.
In my experience, in that never-ending supply, Dragon, I guess I've kind of had the opposite experience of you. Most of the fan fiction I've read is garbage, but.
Right. Anyway, so with that, you have a balance. I feel the equation in fan fiction, there's a balance of when fan fiction is purely self-serving versus it's like it breeds like a love for the source material. I think that's the line. That's the big distinction of good fan fiction from bad fan fiction. Like, look, doing shipping again. I'm not saying like I'm not casting it off like doing like shipping, because that means you care about the show, you care about the characters. But I mean, if it overtakes like if it feels completely out of left field and just pure like a vanity thing, then. That's not necessarily, again, that's not really out of love of the show. It's just out of love you want to see these two characters get together. Like I love it when it makes sense, but even taking the shipping out of the equation, it's still just, you don't want to write something that's completely, just serving just like one character just for randomness sake. Like if it reads like, and then he does this because this is the best idea ever. This is the way it should be. If it's like, well, this is the way it could go. That's the way to go.
Tiki and I are well aware of the shipping stuff.
Oh yeah,
of course I won't
Starco, a show that we still need to get caught up on.
Very much.
I think on the whole, that's kind of the fascinating thing about fan fiction. You got kind of your good, your bad, and your balance of a bit of both. Like not to disperse people from writing fan fiction, but by the same token, there is a line you should always like try to honor. Like Tiki and I, for example, we have done fan fiction various times with our pitches. That's fan fiction.
I don't necessarily consider that fan fiction.
Well, I mean, okay, fine. It borders on fan fiction.
It's more of like a hypothetical exercise to me.
Fine, hypothetical. I mean, you gotta admit though, Heartlight Coin Joker, that one borders on fan fiction in a good way. That one kind of,
Okay, that one, yeah, sure, but that was like a special case.
Exactly. So that's the point. So we've dabbled in it, and we've kind of flirted kind of the technical line of fan fiction. We've kind of tried our hand at it ourselves in terms of pitching an episode versus more of a spec. It's kind of a spec script than a fan fiction. It's kind of
it's more of an outline. That's how I treat it.
Kind of a spec outline for sure. It's kind of like a humble spec outline. Anyway, my point is, so yes, you have all of that factor in the fan fiction, and I do like that we the theme of fan fiction in this case is so Carmi. Of course, she's expressing her hero love here, or at least her her captain
Beauty.
God, I hate that. That's the thing I hate most. Captain.
I'm not a big fan. I hope that doesn't stick.
I
I'll say
really,
that much.
I know. That's the thing that holds me back from like really kind of feeling one way or another about the episodes like that Captain Q.
I think there's just I think it's from the way I could tell, it's like it's just like a one-time joke that's like not meant
okay, like the Captain Cutie stuff. That's like the kind of moments, and unfortunately, I get these kind of moments watching this show way more than I do watching a show like DuckTales. It's like, oh yeah, this is a show written for kids, isn't it? I'm watching a children's show right now.
I mean, look, if I were in Hero's shoes, I mean, it's understandable. See, Hero's uncomfortable with the fan fiction. I like how here's the clever thing: we explore all sides of the argument here. We explore. Okay, people are very in favor of like, hey, our names are mentioned. People are coming up with stuff about us because we're heroes. That's awesome. And of course, there's a side where again, the way the story goes, and I really like this, that we set up we do some setup and payoff of like the things that Carmy has inspired the heroes, not just like honored them, but she has inspired the big hero 6 by again giving them some ideas that did pay off and really helped them out in the field. So again, it's kind of the fandom inspiring the show itself, or again kind of inspiring kind of the source itself. So again, that's all positive side of fan fiction. And we have kind of like, well, how do the creators feel? How do the guys being lampooned feel about this? And they're a little uncomfortable with it. In the case of Hero, I'd be uncomfortable with it too if Captain Cutie were my new moniker. Because again, that goes to show them, like, guys, you can't, you got to give yourselves code names or else they're going to get to it first. How hard? That's the thing. And let's go through the names real quick. So we have Chop Chop,
which I'm okay with actually.
It's not bad. Speed Queen's not bad.
Power set,
Speed Queen's okay.
Speed Queen's probably the best of the bunch.
Tall
Girl's an insult to Honey Lemon.
It is. Here's the thing. Initially, I thought it was like Ball Girl because she throws all the balls, but then like no, Tall Girl.
You see, that would have made sense, Dragon.
Let's see. We have
like it would have been the most creative name in the world, but it would have made sense.
I think we have Flame Jumper. That one's just kind of lazy.
That's also lazy. Yes.
This one's good though. I do like Red Panda.
Oh yes, Red Panda is good. Yeah.
And of course, the worst of the bunch, Captain Cutie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's supposed to be like a Q with like the letters Q and T. I don't know. Either way, it's stupid.
If it's Q and T, it's like slightly better in my opinion.
I know it's like slightly, but it's still the same insult. It's like you've been insulted in French. Oh, well, that makes me feel.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was supposed to be like a reference to cringy fan fiction.
I know, and again, I like that they're broaching these subjects. Though I just wish she couldn't come up with anything better than Captain Cutie. Really. Anyway,
what about? Oh yeah, and it leads to like Lawyer Baymax.
Yes. I mean that's probably like I wish I would have been able to find an image for that. Like, actually, I should have come to think of it. I should have done what we do with the Just Giggle It grab bags and just screen grab that shit. I really should have done that. Oh well.
Like I object.
So this. Okay, I love Hero contemplating legal action. Like, have you ever heard of copyright, Carmy? And I knew where this was going. The minute he said copyright, the minute he said that, and we just pan over and say, "Oh my god, they're gonna do it! They're gonna do it!" My lawyer here, and of course, Baymax.
Like, I don't think he was gonna buy Baymax as a lawyer hero.
I don't know. You never know. That's what Better Call Baymax. That's what we got. That's the recap show we got. Oh my god.
Better Call Baymax.
Oh god. Anyway, and Cass could be Kim.
That's been one of the fan fictions.
And Cass could be Kim Wexler.
I could totally see Better Call Baymax being like one of the 3 installments in that hypothetical anthology that we were talking about.
And okay, Cray has to be Howard Hamlin.
Oh my god, yes.
Cray is so Hamlin.
Oh god.
Cray is like a less sympathetic version of Hamlin.
He is, but it's kind of like if Hamlin were less kind of charming and enigmatic, he would just be kind of like dumb and fancy, which is what Cray is. Yeah.
And while we're on the subject, we get to see the return of Drunk Baymax.
Yes. So with all of our Baymax, well, if you're not just a lawyer Baymax, we get Drunk Baymax, and now James, the answer to your question, your kind of rumination here. Absolutely, this is a direct callback to. It's not just like the feeling of drunk Baymax, which we've kind of flirted with now and again, but when Baymax runs low on energy, from directly we established as Big Hero 6, because he burned up all his power, he turns into the Scott Adson performs his drunk Baymax.
It's like I did the thing.
Exactly. So that's a
It's like,
rarity because Baymax, when he runs out of power, is only so much longer before he has to get back to that pad.
yeah, it's just pretty funny. It's like, and it kind of reminds me of like I actually after watching that, I was like, oh, that's drunk Baymax. So after the episode, I went back to watch the scene on like YouTube or something, and it was kind of jarring just to see these characters animated in 3D
Yeah,
again.
again, let's talk about that because I feel like that is a good indication that this show's style is working. Because at this point, I'm more used to seeing these characters in 2D than 3D. So it's like, even though the film looks great, like it's seriously like going back and looking at it, like it's really impressive CG animation. It really holds up for a 2014 movie. But it's just I feel like that's just a good testament to like, yeah, the 2D style just works so well with these characters and with the whole comic book getup of it all that I almost feel like it fits in more naturally than the 3D does.
It would be kind of interesting. It would be kind of interesting to see this movie in a 2D fashion. The movie animated in a 2D fashion.
Honestly, I just think that's the 2D getting the job done so well that I can kind of see both, and I think it's kind of akin to, I guess, Disney since I'm gonna wait just this. I'm gonna say Disney since Tangled. Let's say Disney since Tangled. They kind of, I think, in the animation they kind of found this equation where if you animate the 3D in kind of a 2D manner, then you can kind of sell the illusion. Of course, now Tangled has a 2D series, so I guess it's kind of relative with this. But that's the thing. It kind of solidifies as if they were ever do kind of a 2D show or do kind of 2D animated shorts or what have you. They could again the effect would be almost seamless, and that's kind of the effect that has on me because I'm kind of seeing like again I'm just those are those characters. I mean, the only thing that doesn't translate to me as well is I don't know what it is, but the one element with the character design, sometimes, specifically Hero's teeth, I don't know, there's like, he has kind of this front tooth thing. That's like the only thing that ever sticks out to me with the 2D style. And of course, sometimes the animation will be, the mouth animation will be kind of basically sometimes the animation will be sped up or it'll be a little choppy. That's just in terms of kind of the execution of the dialogue scenes, really. It's not really the action of it all. We've already been through this. I think we've hit a good stretch. So far, we hadn't had that problem in a long time, so I think they've gotten past that, the animation studios. Not sure, kind of a training wheels thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about our villains here, guys. Let's give some talk to. Honestly, my two favorite villains in Big Hero 6 were in this episode. We have Obake and we have Momokase. Yes, I love Momokase. She was in my favorite episode with with Food Fight with one of our collective favorites. So my favorite villains are teaming up. I love the calling card gag. I love how again Obake, his big introduction again. He's a guy who can kind of slip in through the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And he slips this card through her cell, and again, the card is like his calling card is in his logo for Obake, and of course, it's like this little graphite knife, graphene knife, which is.
It seems like a lot of time has passed too since she appeared. Because look how many like her battalion marks are on her ceiling.
Oh yeah, most certainly. So I like that. It's a great reveal too. I like that we have the tech dampening bars, the technology dampening bars that she's trapped in. I love how we bring that back. Because essentially, for all intents and purposes, Momokase, she's getting revenge. And my read on the plan here with Obake was he's doing one of two things here. He's well, honestly both. He's doing a two-part plan here. One, he's throwing the best he can at Hamada and the Big Hero 6 to see how far he can push him. He's kind of gauging him yet again, but in the sense of, okay, I'm going to put him in a death trap, but again, the fact that they don't die is just saying, okay, if they die, then they're worth my time.
Mm-hmm.
The other more important thing is he's building his own team, and this is kind of a tryout for Momokase, and she does get away, therefore she passes the test, therefore Obake still has not lost yet. And I like that you see the revenge here is that she's in these tech dampening bars, and that's what she condemns the Big Hero 6 to. They're trapped in a cell like they put her in while the place is bound to explode. And of course, the place in question is a big callback to the movie. We have a lot of callbacks to the Big Hero 6 movie here with Cray Island. With Cray's Island, the what's it?
Akuma Island.
Akuma Island, yes, which I believe translates to Oni Mask, or at least a demon mask or something.
Yeah, pretty much means demon or monster.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Oni mask, but I mean, yes, it's like that's one of the various terms for demon. Yes.
I think specifically means devil.
Sure, makes sense. Also, by the way, I love the runner of Baymax and alleys. I like how we're addressing that. Baymax he can't navigate alleys, and
I
so
am
just
stuck.
God. Yeah.
He's getting away.
This episode's really well animated. With we have a lot of great pursuit stuff. Where Gogo, is in hot pursuit of Momikaze, and I think that whole sequence is great. Again, I love seeing this villain again, and again, she's so good at what she does. Again, kind of the highly trained kind of ninja for hire, and of course I love the gimmick of whenever you enter a room in my bed, it's like things are kind of quiet, like no one's here, and of course, the moment you lean on a wall or touch something, it's sliced into pieces. I love that. So cool. So again, all this great action.
I like the concept of the graphene.
I know, I love it too, and I'll ever love it since Wasabi pointed it out. I was like, oh man, he's geeking out over the I would. He's geeking out over the technology. I love it. Also on Akuma Island, we have this great again, just the action throughout. Honey Lemon and Gogo kind of take it basically how systematically Mokaze entraps each of the members, but I have this great kind of sequence of them putting up a good fight and making her break a sweat.
And hey, even Fred got a song again.
Yes, he got the theme song.
Wait, what's the best thing you can do? Split up. They shouldn't have really split up.
Remember the koi fish gag? The koi pond where basically
Yeah, and that's actually kind of like for your local San Francisco guy. That's based on the Japanese tea gardens, actually.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. It's a place that my parents used to take me as a very, very, very little kid.
It's kind of funny. It's like he's like, oh, let's do it, Freddy the fish.
And then he gets old Heathcliff.
Oh my god, I love the animation on Heathcliff. Just
tell me if you noticed this. Did you notice that once they made the ice, when Fred was trapped in the ice, he was making a snow cone? Did you notice it?
Yes.
I love that.
Classic Heathcliff. He looks so peaceful.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick on Carmi, because Carmi kind of put the whole episode in the play just to dedicate a little bit more time to her here.
Like I said, I honestly feel like Carmi might be the weak point of the episode, ironically, because I'm just not digging Carmi as a character.
I'm not sure we stuck the landing on Carmi, but I do I like some stuff we explored with Carmi in this episode.
I feel like this episode, I feel like it had more potential with the Carmi stuff to be like, okay, this is the first time she's really interacting with Big Hero 6. You know what I mean? I feel like that should have felt more important than it actually did.
Yeah.
Does that make sense at all?
Yep.
All right. I love we homage kind of the old Lois Lane in Danger kind of damsel in distress thing with Carmi, where she's put herself in this situation where again publicly she's kind of coupled herself as kind of the self-proclaimed girlfriend of Hiro Hamada of the whatever. The point is, he's been basically again she's under the limelight now. Again, she's endangered herself very foolishly in announcing that to the world through her fan fiction, which again is getting amazing traction apparently because even Momikaze knows
about that. That's one of the things that kind of bugged me about the episode too. Was like, do you really think this sort of dorky fan fiction would go over this well in specifically a college full of tech geniuses?
Well, I mean, I gotta think of it this way, Tiki. I mean, again, I would imagine Carmi was introduced as the conduit of okay, the Big Hero 6 are making waves with with SFIZ, and they're taking notice of these guys, yet they don't know what's under their nose. And she's touching base with that. And I think that the idea, and I could be wrong here, I think the idea is that the school full of the nerd school, full of all these prospective technical geniuses, they would be fascinated by the technology that these guys use, tech-based superheroes, and I think they would follow the goings on. But okay, this is fan fiction.
That's the thing. I feel like if they actually respected the technology, then they'd be intelligent enough to not follow this insert fan fiction. You know, at the very least, like they come up with their own fan fiction that's better than this. You know what
Well, I'm
mean?
saying this is like the first fan fiction of its kind. It would seem it might start a trend with them. We don't know.
All right.
Let's see. What was
I like that scene with Hero running around the campus. It was funny, but it was a little over the top, I thought.
Yeah, I felt that's kind of it's pulling from the old playbook of okay, we need to establish that this is all over the place. You can't get away from it. And again, it's like not wrong. It just feels like I've kind of been there, done that. I get what they're doing. But I do like with Carmi though, we do have kind of the smart lesson, and we play with a trope of again like kind of the old like the hero's girlfriend being kidnapped as bait trope of superhero-dom. And again, I do like that we do attach a smart lesson to it here, where again like sorry, let me rephrase. I think the lesson's there. That again, I don't think my problem is Carmi doesn't necessarily pick up on it, but there is a smart lesson. Again, the theme of the fan fiction, where again she did provide some interesting ideas that the Big Hero 6 utilized, which helped them win the day here. Where like we had Velocishot for Gogo, which is really a cool effect, by the way. She's like going at high speeds, using like spinning her wheels super fast. And of course, overdrive mode with Baymax.
Yes. I feel like that's the last really big thing we need to talk about, and probably the coolest thing that happens in the whole episode. Honestly,
the funny thing is, we have this
kind of like a Pokemon evolution for Baymax in a way.
It's kind of like Pokemon meets. Pokemon meets. I'm trying to think of what's the more appropriate comparison here. Let's just say it's Pokemon meets Voltron or something. It's like Pokemon meets. Yeah, I guess Volt, because basically with the sword and everything, it's like you kind of I don't know, it's kind of like just kind of the sword out of nowhere. It's felt like kind of like kind of Voltron. And my point is, I do like that we foreshadowed with like another anime homage here. We had like kind of a Sailor Moon version of Baymax at the top of it. Like this the random schoolgirl skirt and everything. And again, that's absolutely a Sailor Moon reference.
Oh yeah.
And by the end, we do kind of the awesome. I was in all of it too. Like, oh my god, look at him. So, it was great. Again, I'm sorry to touch on this again because Carmi did kind of.
Sorry.
Carmi did jumpstart that whole the overdrive. And again, the payoff. Again, I feel like we skirt around that. There is a really smart lesson here, and we see the positive of what she did, but I don't think we quite hit. Like, I wish they would have set her straight in some way, because it feels like she didn't quite learn a lesson. Because like literally after they have this realization,
I agree.
See, here's my issue with the whole episode. This is the reason I'm like not as high on it as I would like to be. I would like to be higher on this, but it's just like holding me back. And I think this is kind of the rope holding me back in this case. I feel that it's that she needs to be set straight in some way, because the way it plays as is that she's you read my thing, and they thank her, and then of course here's a moment to kind of set her straight on a few things. At the very least, I wish they would set her straight about the names. Like, look, if you're gonna keep doing your blog,
Honey Lemon tried to at least.
I'm saying, but then like literally right after that, we see we go kind of full delusional with the fan fiction. Like then they invited me to become a member of the Big Hero 7, the 7th member of the Big Hero.
Which I'm sure. I wonder if that's gonna like. I wonder if in the actual Big Hero 7 episode we're gonna get Carmi. Like that's who's gonna be the Big Hero 7.
A good point in considering that. I gotta tell you, I think it's likely in the cards. Now you bring that up. So again, this also raises the bigger question with Carmi. Again, that Big Hero 7 point you made is, I think, very applicable to this. That there's a question of how long are we going to draw the secret identity of this all out? Because again, we're really spinning our wheels with these fake names, and kind of we'll see if any of them stick. But the point is, with these names, and I think we keep highlighting the problem that again we don't have code names yet. And it's like the thing with the Incredibles. With the Incredibles is so good at distraction. Yeah, I don't have code names yet. You don't care because you're having such a good time with it. And here's like, I'm having a good time with it. But okay, we can only do this for so long, and before Carmi finds out that he and Hero and Captain Cutie again, Captain Anything, literally Captain Anything would have been like Captain Purple. I would take Captain Purple gladly. Anything. But again, like Red Panda, that's a good name. It works. It looks vaguely panda-esque, and it's red. It works. But yeah, I think that's the lasting question. I think Big Hero 7 will kind of solve this for us. Hopefully, at least will give us we can only spin our wheels with plots like this for so long. So I feel that Carmi not sticking the landing on Carmi kind of highlights that grander issue, which I hope I have faith that they're gonna fix it. But again, the fact we don't have code names, I'm not 100% on if they're ever going to solve that. But I hope so. I'm optimistic.
All right. Okay, guys. I feel like we've pretty much run the gambit on everything. Anything else you guys feel like we need to touch on?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw in the obligatory still better love story than Twilight line.
Sure.
Just with the hero and Carmen thing, I wouldn't mind seeing these two kids get together, but they got to stop all this like dancing around like who's who and all that stuff. We got to just kind of get these two characters on the same page. They do
on a break.
No, but you see that again we even saw Hero does like he knows where she's going to be at certain times of the day. He knows about Carmen, like he cares. So I wouldn't mind seeing. I'm not going to force it, but I wouldn't mind seeing these two kids. I like that Honey Lemon sees it too. Like, come on, Hero, just admitting that she has a crush on. Again, he's not even saying you have a crush on her.
Exactly.
Saying,
I like that. She's like, I've always adored Honey Lemon's kind of like little brother dynamic with Hero.
Yeah, and that's my own headcanon. Tiki has still been like she's kind of the honorary kind of big sister. Like I always imagined she and Tadashi might have had a thing, but again, there's no evidence, nothing to substantiate the fact that she knew about Hero before any of the other characters. That makes me think that she and Tadashi worked well together, and therefore she might have. The fact that she's looking after Hero in honor of Tadashi, one way or another, doesn't matter. The point is she is that big sister figure you hit on, Tiki. Yes. Okay. Right. Well, yeah, that's it.
So I guess just going through the episode titles really quick, just to reiterate and speculate based on new stuff.
I saw a clip of this next one.
Episode 16 is Minimax. What clip did you see, Dragon?
Basically, like a little promo clip they had, where basically Minimax is full of energy and just hopping all over the place. Fred is delighted by this.
Okay, now is Minimax like a miniature version of Baymax, or is it Baymax shrunken down?
It's not shrinking. It's not. Here's the thing. I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to be a version of Baymax, but it's not like puffy or it's not like a tiny. It's not a tiny version of Baymax, but it's like the same. He has like the same kind of design work of Baymax. It's like it's a different robot, is what I'm saying. So
I know he has a different voice actor.
That's the thing. It's like more of a hypercharged, smaller. But might be like the Scrappy Doo version of Baymax, is hopefully better.
No.
I think they. I don't know. That's the way it kind of read to me, and it's because like Fred was like all delighted by it, and Wasabi's like a little worrisome, like it was Scrappy Doo. So we'll see. I don't know.
Next.
Yep.
Okay, next is Big Hero 7, as we've already speculated on.
Oh, we're getting to that fast. I thought that was further down the line. Wow.
Yep. Episode 18 is Big Problem. Maybe that means that Big Hero 7 might have a cliffhanger that Carmi discovers Hero's identity, possibly.
Sure. Or Okabe strikes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now you got me doing it, darn it. Okay. Strikes.
Or someone grows huge.
Episode 9 is Steamer's Revenge. Do we know anyone named Steamer in the Big Hero 6 universe?
Yes, remember it's Baron von Steamer, Tiki.
It's from Fred's Brotillion.
Oh, yes. Right.
The different. I'm Baron von Steamer.
Hey, we might get Stan.
I'll have to rewatch Fred's Brotillion before that episode.
Fingers crossed for more Stan.
Of course. And then episode 20. I love this title, and hopefully it gets us back to our BattleBot roots, as it seems it will. The Bot Fighter.
And those last two, I believe, are airing on the same day.
Yes, you're right. And also in between Dragon, we're still gonna have a little bit of a wait for Big Hero 7 because there's gonna be a week hiatus in between Minimax and Big Hero 7, so it's gonna be off for a week.
Huh.
So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. But might also be an indicator that Big Hero 7 is indeed a big episode.
Maybe.
Okay, guys, I feel like that's about it. Any final thoughts, gentlemen? Anything we haven't said yet?
Again, fun. Maybe not for everybody, but I don't even talking about it. Again, I think this episode's coming from a really good place. Just I wish it stuck the landing a little bit more. At least it would have maybe nothing's really wrong here. It just feels like it could have been more, a little bit more polished, or at least it could have really went a little further with the ideas they put into play. Which again, good ideas put into play. Just we could have just stuck it just a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nothing more I can say without basically repeating what you guys have said.
Okay.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again next week. And until next time.
I object.
I did the thing.